Welcome to Online Appliance Tech. Today we're going to work on an LG front load washer that's leaking from the dispenser. I come back to the job, so I press the power and press the solid and spin button and press this play button to go through activate the diagnostic mode. So basically as I press this, the water will come through each valve. Last time I came out here, it actually was leaking through the dispenser in this test, but today it's not. So if you want to try this test, you can see if it's leaking out the front of your dispenser. Even though it wasn't leaking out, I saw before this was an issue. So I'm going to go ahead and place this dispenser. But to put in diagnostic mode, you'll just press the power and then right away hit the solid and the spin button and press the play button to activate each test. So to get out of diagnostic mode, all you do is just hit the power button and this will take you out of diagnostic mode. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull this out. You press this little button down and you pull it the rest of the way out. And then you can look in there. This one's got a lot of gunk in there. And if you want to make sure you don't have no water spraying like left or right, like if you put your finger on the end of a water hose, basically, it would cause it to go one way. You can activate this test mode and then see if the water is coming straight down rather than sideways. Sometimes you can actually even clean the inside to save you some money on the dispenser housing. Even though this one passes test, the water came completely straight down. I did realize it wasn't one of the holes that were the issue. Is actually the fill line that comes from the side of the dispenser. It goes into the side of the inner gasket, which I'll show you later, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So first thing first is you want to make sure you unplug it, and then we're going to pull the machine forward and you have two Phillips screws. You're just going to remove the bottom Phillips screw. So we'll go ahead and remove both of them. There's one on each side. Okay, so once I remove this last screw, I'm going to press this top panel backwards. As you'll see here in a moment, you just press it straight back and you can remove the panel. You just put somewhere safe just where it doesn't slide and scratch your floor or something like that. So just press it back and then put it somewhere on the side. So now you have two Phillips screws that holds the dispenser in its place. So just easily, gently, counterclockwise, remove these two, put them somewhere where you know exactly where they go to in a way to organize your screws. So I'll put mine over here, somewhere safe. There we go. And now you can just press this dispenser straight back. This way you can get into everything fairly easy. So here's the new one, here's the part number, but this part number doesn't always fit on yours, I would say. So make sure when you buy this part, make sure you put your model number in and make sure you get the right dispenser housing. That way you don't buy the wrong one. So that's a big pointer there. So I like to put this kind of beside this one, this way when I remove it, I know exactly where each hose goes. So this is the hose I was talking about. It's actually backing up the unit. So once you remove this hose, it's somewhere in the lining of this dispenser housing that's causing this thing to back up. And you can also make sure this hose is clear. So you have to take like a flathead to kind of give it a little leadway to get this hose off. You can call it an air gap, but that way you can get it off, and right away you can put it onto the new one. This new one has a little leftover plastic on it from the factory, so I'm going to get that off real quick. There we go, snug that on, and then you'll just put this little clip back in its place. So what I like to do too, I like to line up the grooves of where the clip went beforehand. That way it's nice and snug. You'll see like little groove marks on the plastic tube. So this is the outlet, so the water comes into the dispenser, then it goes to the tub. So definitely watch the video towards the end and make sure you put this on right, because you will flood your house. And if you don't hit that like button, if you could just hit that like button for me, that would help me get this video out to others, to help others. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn this on its back and kind of put this in the same way, because each valve is different. It goes, you just can't switch your hoses up, is what I'm saying. So what I like to do, I like to just remove each clip, and then once I remove each clip, I'll take one hose off at a time and put it on the new dispenser housing. That way I know for sure I'm not going to switch my hoses up. Now having all my hoses in place, I'm just going to press them in, make sure they're nice and snug, and then I'm going to take my needle nose and line up the clips with the grooves of the indentions that are on the rubber hoses. There we go. I'm just going to take my time and make sure they're aligned perfectly. I just don't want to rush it and end up flooding my house or having a nice water leak. So just do one by one and make sure you line it up correctly with the grooves of the hose. Okay, so that looks good. So now we'll align this guy, because we got to connect the tub to dispenser hose. So you got to slide this on, and it could be a little bit of a pain, so definitely make sure you have a good light. But you have to actually slide it all the way over these clips that are on the dispenser housing. So I'm going to actually loosen this up way more. So when putting this hose on the dispenser, you definitely want to make sure it's completely flush against the dispenser before you tighten it up. If you need an extra hand, just get someone to hold the dispenser as you press down. It does take a little bit of patience, as you can see. Okay, so since I have it flushed against the dispenser housing, I'm going to hold it in place. And then I'm going to take my drill and tighten it up as I have a good pressure on the hose towards the dispenser housing. I'm going to snug that up real well. Then after I do this, I'm going to turn the dispenser around to make sure everything's nice and flush and so forth. So yeah, everything looks good. If I tug on it a little bit, it's not going to come off. So I can sleep good at night knowing that it's on there well. So yeah, that's good to go. Also, I'm going to use a hand tool behind this just to make sure it's nice and snug so I can press down on it more. So see, I'm actually turning it even more. So like I stated, I just don't want to risk this thing popping off because the machine does shake and so forth. So yeah, it should be good there. Yeah. Okay, so now we can go ahead and reassemble this thing. So you have two grooves in the side of the housing. You'll just press it in and slide forward. So you'll make sure that's aligned. And on the side of the dispenser, you got two plastic, sorry about the light. These two little clips going to the side of the housing. So you press in and slide forward. And you're going to press this forward all the way flush. You should actually have your hose lined up where if you just put your screws in, it'll line right up. But you want to make sure that this is flush right here. So I'm going to hold it nice and tight, and then I'll put my two Phillips screws in. Just don't over tighten them because you can strip them. So if you want to use a hand tool, that's just as good. Okay, so now I'm going to slide my dispenser back in the dispenser housing. Just press that little button down, slide it back. Everything should be nice and aligned. And I'm going to put this in diagnostic mode, power, solid, and spin. Hit the play button. It'll start the spin, high spin, and then it activates each valve. This way you can actually see each valve activate and make sure you have no leaks before you put the lid back on. Also, on your drain hose in the back, make sure that it is zip tie and not stuffed all the way down, but not far enough down where it can pop out. So this one doesn't even have a zip tie, so we should zip tie it, and it was actually barely in there. So you should have it at least 7 inches down that hole and zip tied off. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to this diagnostic and turn this machine off. Oh yeah, and like I told you earlier, make sure you check for leaks, all your hoses, and make sure you have no type of leaks nowhere. So basically that all goes into the dispenser, then it goes out the dispenser into the tub. Just make sure you have nice dry hoses and wipe them down with paper towels before you run it. That way if you see any water, you will know that you have an issue. Well, it looks like this machine is good to go. If you could just do me a favor, hit that like button, that would help me out a lot. And then if you need to go to channel for future repairs, you could just hit that subscribe button. And thank you for watching and have a good day.